addiction that many people are not taking seriously, and I'm going to discuss this topic under the one, introduction. Number two, the scale of the problem. Number three, what is gambling disorder? Number four, what are the signs? How do you know that it has become an addiction? Number five, the human costs. Number six, reflections. Conclusion. So let's begin with introduction. He lost his entire salary in 20 minutes. His rent was gone. Student school fees was gone. He placed one more bet just to see how he can try to win it back. That's not stupidity, if you may want to call it, but it's an addiction. Okay, today I am talking about online betting, the mental health crisis that is destroying many Nigerian homes, and we're not talking about it enough. So the scale of the problem. Nigeria is one of the largest sports betting markets in the whole of Africa. You know why? Millions of Nigerians, predominantly young men between the ages of 18 and 40 years, they place bets on a daily basis. Not only men, younger persons, adolescents are also now involved in this problem of betting. The betting industry generates like billions of naira every year. For most people, it has become occasional entertainment, but for a significant number of persons, it becomes something else that they cannot actually control by themselves without seeking professional help. And psychiatrists actually come into play. So thirdly, what is gambling disorder? Gambling disorder is a recognized psychiatric condition which is classified in the International Classification of Diseases version 11, okay, called ICD-11, and Diagnosis and Statistical Manual for Diseases version 5, called DSM-5, as an addictive disorder, okay, in the same category as substance use disorders. Why is addictive disorder, why is gambling disorder or addiction in the same category with substance use disorders? You know why? Because it activates the same brain reward as your psychoactive substances. So now let's talk about the signs. What are the signs of gambling disorder? How do you know when gambling disorder has become an addiction? First of all, constantly thinking about betting, even when you're not doing it. It begins to color and take over predominance over every other of the activities of daily living. They're in school, they're thinking about betting. They're in church, they're thinking about how to bet and win. They're in the marketplace or doing one thing or the other of their social endeavors and thinking about how they're going to bet, how they're going to make something from one betting or the other. So it's now preoccupation over every activities of living. Second, the tolerance. When they now need to bet larger amounts to get previous excitement. You know, some of them, when they bet like 200 or 500 and they're able to get like 75% or 50% of that amount of money, they become excited and say, let me say, I will now increase it now to, let's say, 1,000 naira, 2,000 or 2,000 naira to get 4,000, as the case may be. Okay, they now want to think about betting larger amounts to get the same excitement that they had when they used a smaller amount to bet. Then thirdly, loss of control. When repeated failed attempts to cut down or stop, they keep having repeated failed attempts. Whenever they maybe make a win or a loss and they say, I will stop here, they find it very difficult. They keep wanting to put in, they keep wanting to try again. Let me try again. I was close to winning. My ticket almost cut. Very small minutes to winning. They keep saying that they were always few minutes close to being successful, and they always want to, so they have lost control to actually determine how much of time they should put into this particular activity. Then, chasing losses, betting more to try and recover money already lost. Because when they put 500, they were able to make like 1,000 naira from it. When they now put in that 1,000 and they now lost, they now say, no, my money, I must get it back. It's not to stop at that point and say no. They don't even know when to quit. You know, whenever they make a loss, they're looking for how to bet more, keep borrowing money to bet more, to see how they can, in quote, recover those previous losses which may actually have gone. So, another sign is they keep lying. When the family start asking them, what are you doing? They start hiding betting from family and friends. Some of them will be hiding inside toilets. Some of them will be hiding at the back of the house because they want to bet. Because the families are now saying that we are tired of seeing you going through all of this. You have lost so much money. Our children's school fees are going through this. this particular problem, and yet you're still continuing. We don't want you to stop, but they will say no. They want to keep on betting and betting. So they now start lying to family and friends. So no, I'm not doing that. I was only making a phone call, but they are enter the toilet. They may claim that they want to go, they want to use the convenience. They are betting. So, and also financial consequences. They start borrowing money, emptying their savings, unable to pay bills. They take loans, they cannot pay back. They won't take loan from another company to pay back that loan that they have wasted on gambling and addiction. Then they still keep financial and leads to financial embarrassment. So this is actually one of the reasons why most of the families actually try to come out and seek help. They're more dependence. They start feeling restless, irritable, anxious when they are unable to bet. Whenever they don't have money to bet, they even look for ways to even steal. They start becoming restless, looking for any possible means to get money, even stealing from people, even borrowing, leading to severe financial embarrassment. So if 3 or more of these signs I have mentioned are applied to you or to someone that you know, this is not a hobby anymore. It is a disorder. It is a disorder. So let's talk about the human cost. Okay, the human cost of gambling disorder. So marriages are now collapsing. A lot of marriages are collapsing. Some persons have lost their jobs. Children are going hungry because somebody is using their monies to bet. Men are not taking loans that they cannot pay. Taking loans that they have no security for. Taking loans. People are now dying by suicide. By the time they finish betting and they've accumulated so much loans that they don't have even a sure way of paying back. Some of them even commit suicide. Gambling disorder has been found to have one of the highest suicide rates of all addictions that are known in psychiatry. And most of these people are suffering in silence because they are too ashamed to ask for help. Many of them are too ashamed. How do I tell people? How do I tell my pastor? How do I tell my in-laws? How do I tell my parents? How do I tell my siblings? I'm supposed to be the one caring for them. How do I now open up to them that this is what I'm actually going through? They are ashamed to actually ask for help. So reflection. If you are watching this today and something is pulling at you, maybe you're recognizing the signs I just mentioned in yourself or in someone that you know, the preoccupations, the hidings, the chasing of losses, the promising to stop and not being able to stop, that never lasts beyond a day, whose money is always mysteriously gone. Like you just have like the end salary, you keep like 100k in your pocket, before you know, before the end of the next day, the money is all gone. And you cannot really explain where you actually put the money in betting or whatever you use the money to do. So a husband, a son, a brother, a wife, a daughter, a sister, whose money is always mysteriously gone, who gets angry when you ask them questions. That feeling you have right now, that recognition is important. Do not ignore it. At Thriving Minds Mental Health, we help individuals and families to understand and navigate gambling addiction and other behavioral addictions, from clinical assessment to treatment planning and to guiding the families. We are all here. If this applies to your situation, reach out to us. My link is in the bio. Tomorrow we have episode 2, what betting actually does to your brain, the neuroscience behind why people cannot stop. Stay with me. Thank you very much. My name is Dr. Helen from Thriving Minds Mental Health, psychiatrist, and I am here to give you a rundown about gambling disorder. Thank you.